Hey again. So I decided that I would go ahead and hop back on here and take care of this 20 questions tag. I was tagged by um, Debbie at the Canadian Crocheter. Thank you, Debbie. And I went ahead and wrote all the questions down and decided, hey, this is fun. I'll go ahead and answer these questions for you guys. So the first one is, what does your name mean? Well, I looked that up, and I guess my name means bound to God. My name is Rebecca, and I really like that. I really, really like that. When I found that out, I was absolutely thrilled, and I never knew what my name meant. So thank you for tagging me in this, even if it was just to find out what my name meant. Where are you from? Well, I'm kind of from a few places. Originally, my father was military, and we lived in Japan for a while and Michigan for a while. But we kind of moved everywhere. Um, I'd like to say for my own, I guess the longest place that I married military, of course, and we moved a whole bunch of places. So I guess I would say I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. We lived there the longest. Every time we would be stationed somewhere, we would always end up being stationed in Las Vegas again. So it was just back and forth. And I grew up there kind of. We moved there when I was in the ninth grade, and I lived there all the way up until I was 23. So I kind of feel like I'm from there. You know, you go to school somewhere, you kind of grow up somewhere, you make your friends, all your family, stuff like that. So I'd say that's where I'm from. Where were you born? I was born in Loma Linda, California. I guess my parents were on a TDY, temporary duty assignment down there, and I came. So that's where I was born. What would your parents have named you if you were a boy? Well, I guess they probably would have named me my brother's name, which is after my father. So Jeffrey Martin. Yep. What is your biggest accomplishment? Well, I would say my biggest accomplishment is being a military wife. My husband was in the Air Force for 26 years, and we were married for 10, 11, or 12 years of that. And during that time, he was deployed a few times. We have 5 kids, and there was a couple times where I had to be left alone raising them by myself for, anywhere from 4 to 6 months, sometimes a little bit longer. And we had 5 under the age of 10, if you can believe it. So during that time was a challenge, a big, big challenge. You got to throw yourself into it. You're pretty much a single parent. But I really, really enjoyed it. And I feel like it's a big accomplishment to go through that. And the strength that it gives you is definitely makes you feel like you've done something. What is your eye color? My eyes are blue. They also have a tinge of gray to them sometimes, so kind of like a blue gray. What is your favorite candle scent? Um, I'm in love with Bath and Body Works Stress Relief candle. It's eucalyptus and mint. Um, I love, love, love that smell. I usually will put it throughout the house, even in the plug-in deals. I've even had it as shower stuff. I have it in hand wash throughout the house. I love it. It's just relaxing. The smell of it just calms me, and I love it, love it, love it. Can you cook? Yes, I can. I cooked for the first, I'd say, 8 or 9 years of my marriage with my husband, and then slowly he started taking the things that I would make in the house and grilling them and making his own creations out of them, and the kids really liked that. He super enjoyed himself grilling, and to this day he still grills pretty much every single night. I do cook a lot of things In the crock pot, I love to cook and look on Pinterest and pick out all kinds of things and try stuff that's new. Every time I cook, the kids come over. My favorite thing that I make is steak enchiladas, which was a complete accident. When we lived in Texas, the first year that we were together, I had never cooked before. I wasn't taught how to cook. I did not know. So I went to the store and thought I was getting the stuff for fajitas and ended up kind of getting, I got the enchilada packet, but fajita everything else except the peppers and stuff. I don't know. Somehow I mixed it up and I got it all. So I decided to go ahead and wing it. I made the enchiladas, but I used the steak strips instead of hamburger meat or chicken or anything like that. And it was a huge, huge love from everybody. They loved it so much. And to this day, it is still requested. My husband wants it on his birthday every year, things like that. So my favorite time to cook, I guess, would be around the holidays. I love to bake everything from scratch. I love to make pies. I love to make turkey. I've kind of made it into a thing where as it's cooking, I think I'll cook it breast side down first, then I'll flip the entire turkey over, cook it for hours like that, and then do that again. And it just makes the meat so tender. And then I make sure to put butter and things like that in between the skin and the meat of the breast side before I even start, and so it just helps keep everything super tender. What is good about your life right now? You guys are, I mean, I love my family and I love everything about my life, but since starting YouTube and meeting all of you and getting to know you through comments and emails and Messenger, on the phone even with my girl Shelly, has been just amazing. You guys keep me going and I appreciate that so very much. I do have times where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore because my health, fluctuates, especially during this season, but your guys' comments and the things that you say just really keep me going. And I just really, really appreciate each and every one of you. What is your sign? I am a Taurus. I don't know if I match my sign, but I am a Taurus. I was born in May. And yeah. What scares you about aging? Well, I just look at my mom and all that she is going through. I am pretty much like a clone of hers when it comes to all of the different medical problems, and I call myself the genetic nightmare. I just kind of have all of the medical issues that she has and stuff that my dad has, and I just watch her as she gets older and the struggles that she goes through. She's always in pain and she has a really rough time of it. And I'm just kind of afraid of that, I guess. Like as I get older, I don't want to get worse, if that makes sense. Because I'm already struggling. I try to keep a good outlook. I try to be positive. I try to make the best of every day. But fibromyalgia is not fun, especially during the winter time. It's a painful thing to have. You kind of feel like you have the flu. Your body aches like when you have the flu. And you just can't get rid of it, sadly. And the one medication that does help me, my insurance no longer covers, of course. So yeah, I guess just that. What is your favorite holiday? My favorite holiday, I would have to say, is kind of two. I like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I like them because of the family. I like Christmas a lot because once all the decorations are up and the tree is up and every place that there is available has something Christmassy, it just fills the house with warmth and joy, and the kids come over a lot more. And I love Christmas Day when they all come over and I can give them all their gifts because I just absolutely love to give, and just enjoying everybody's company. So that's what I love about the holidays. What is your guilty pleasure? Well, I have a couple of those. I'd have to say my biggest, because to me, a guilty pleasure would be something that makes you happy, but also makes you kind of feel guilty. Um, I like to give. Um, it makes me super, super happy, especially like if I'm watching somebody or we're having a conversation and they mention something that they like or that they've always wanted. Um, and I will go and research and find it and get it. And I get a lot of pleasure out of that. But the guilty part of it would be I feel bad because sometimes I spend a little bit too much money doing it. So, yeah, that would be the guilty part. Um, Guilty pleasure, and it's not really guilty. I would say I love, love, love to be home alone. Not all the time, but I like to have a day now and again, maybe two, where the house is completely empty. It's quiet. I can relax. I can do what I want. And, that's just, it's kind of what I really, really enjoy it. I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure because, I feel bad that, sometimes I just hope the kids are working and my husband's working and I can just kind of have the house to myself. But yeah, and I guess the third thing would be I'm absolutely in love with quilts. Love them so much. I haven't spent money on quilts for myself. I like to find them at thrift stores and things like that. So they have a little extra love to them. Maybe somebody made them, things like that. But I just absolutely love them. They feel wonderful when you're underneath them. They always stay kind of cool, but they still keep you warm, and they're just absolutely beautiful. I would love to have one from Cracker Barrel. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen those, but Cracker Barrel has that entrance where you walk in and it's a little store, and they have quilts in the back, and they're just gorgeous. But yeah. All right. What is your favorite show to binge watch? I would have to say I have two. Absolutely love Outlander. And love Heartland. Heartland just makes me feel so happy inside. It's a story about a family that lives up in Canada. They have a ranch, and the little girl, she grows into a woman and everything else, but she's takes after her mom with being a horse whisperer, and people come to her and have her help them heal their horses. And it's just a beautiful story, and I absolutely love it. And Outlander, who doesn't love Outlander? What is the one thing you can't leave home without? I guess that one's pretty basic. Your purse, keys, phone. You need to know what your kids are doing and that they're safe and if anything happens to you. I used to have to take my dog with me everywhere. She's a service dog. I couldn't leave home without her. But since moving to a small town, I don't need her as much. I don't get the social anxiety as bad here, so I don't need to take her with me as much. So because I have a heart rate condition, and she always is really good about telling me when my heart rate gets a little too high. But when we were in Las Vegas, that was way worse. I always had issues more with my heart rate getting out of control. So I kind of had to take her with me everywhere to kind of keep me calm and control that. So, but living here, I don't need to take her. So used to have to take her, but basically, I guess, person, all that good stuff. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Kind of depends on the season, but the majority of the time, I have insomnia really bad, even though I take medicine to help me sleep. So, and my husband has this thing about going to bed with him. Like, he cannot go to bed without me. I don't understand it. So I'll go to bed with him, but if I can't sleep after laying there watching YouTube or whatever on my tablet, I'll just get back up and work on something and stay up however late and then go to bed. So I guess kind of a night owl. What is your favorite genre of movie? I don't really know. I like to watch Marvel stuff, Star Wars, the new Star Trek line that came out. I guess those kind of things. What is the last thing you bought? Charms. I bought some charms online for a set of stitch markers I'm making. Number 19, are you an extrovert or an introvert? Depends on the audience. If I don't know who I'm around, I am an introvert, big time. I am more shy, don't really know what to say. But if it's my family, I am a super extrovert. I love to just be loud with them and laugh with them and crack jokes and have a ton of fun with them. So depends on who I'm with. And the last question is, what is your favorite book? I don't have a favorite book, but I do love to read. I have 3 favorite authors. The very first author that I fell in love with was Nora Roberts. And then I fell in love with Jude Deveraux. I even went to thrift stores everywhere that I was to try to find out if they had any of the books that she sold or they sold, and I collected all of them. And I don't think I have the full collection of everything just yet, but I did go through a phase where I was buying every book I possibly could find, trying to make the collection full. I also like Nora Roberts as J.D. Robb. I do have that entire collection. I love when books are in a series or trilogies or anything where you can continue to get to know the characters and the story. I love the J.D. Robb books because it's the In Death series. She's basically a homicide detective in the future, and they're like a family. The people at the police division, her husband, and it's murder mysteries, pretty much. And I really, really enjoyed those. And then one other author that I fell in love with about, I don't even know how long ago, maybe 10 years, was Diana Gabaldon. And she's the Outlander, the writer of the Outlander series. I read, I think, the first 3. They're not the easiest books to read. There is a lot of big words and a lot of Gaelic, and she's really good at making sure when she writes the Irish speaking that she keeps to how it would be said. So it's a little hard to read at first, but once you get going with it, it's pretty easy. So when they came out with the Outlander series, I was thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, you cannot even, like, being able to put faces to those characters and see the story rather than just read the story is absolutely amazing, and that's why it's one of my favorites. So yeah, those are my 20 questions. I guess I would tag Shelly at Shelly Sassy Stitches. I don't know if you're up for it, Cheryl, but I would love to hear about you with Yarn and Hook, Cheryl Bolts. Who else? I think everybody's been tagged. I've heard a lot of people, seen a lot of people's videos. But I would even love to see, I don't even know if she watches my channel, but Krista at The Secret Yarnery. So those are just 3 off the top of my head that I can think of. I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with me and hearing a little bit about me. I've enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you later.